If you've been training for a few years, you might have noticed something very strange. You scroll on TikTok, you scroll on Instagram, you watch YouTube fitness, and then you notice that every single guy or every single influencer is shredded. Guys with six-pack abs, capped shoulders, massive arms, veins everywhere. It almost feels like having a great physique isn't even impressive anymore. In fact, some people will look at someone who's been training consistently for 5 years, built a crazy physique, and then somehow comment, he's got average genetics, he's small, he's nothing special. And here's the truth, the average person who even trains in the gym doesn't even look like that. And what we're experiencing is something that I call gym physique inflation. And it's completely changed how people see fitness, themselves, and what is actually achievable. Let's talk about it. So what is gym physique inflation? Gym inflation is when our standards for what counts as a good physique becomes increasingly unrealistic because we're constantly exposed to exceptional physiques. Think about money. Years ago, earning £50,000 a year was actually a pretty good salary. But now because of inflation, that same 50,000 doesn't buy what it used to. The number stays the same, but the value has changed. The same thing has happened with physiques. 20 years ago, someone with visible abs and muscular arms would be considered incredibly fit. Today, people call that mid. Not because the physique got worse, but because our expectations become inflated. Now let me explain to you why social media has changed everything. Before social media, who did you compare yourself to? Your friends, your colleagues, people at your local gym, maybe a few bodybuilders in magazines. Now you're comparing yourself against the top 0.1 physiques on earth. Not just genetically gifted people, but influencers whose full-time job is to look good. People who train twice a day, have personal chefs, personal photographers, perfect lighting, camera angles, Photoshop, editing, and some cases even more things. But guess what? That also includes PEDs. You're no longer comparing yourself to reality, you're comparing yourself to the highlight reel of the internet. And what people don't understand is that your brain doesn't know the difference. Here's the scary part, the human brain adapts. Psychologists call this normalization. The more often you see something, the more normal it feels. If every day you see 10 fitness influencers with insane physiques, eventually your brain starts to believe that this is what the normal and average gym goer looks like, even though it isn't remotely true. Then you walk into your local gym, see someone who has clearly trained consistently for 5-6 years, and instead of thinking, wow, you think he's decent. That is physique inflation in action. And for me, one of the hardest things to accept in this fitness community is how the natural physique has lost its wow factor. This is one of the saddest consequences. Natural physiques are becoming underrated. Someone who spent 8-10 years training naturally, eating well, sleeping consistently, never missing sessions, built an athletic body. Objectively, that's very impressive. But online, they're standing next to enhanced athletes who have 10 kilos more in just pure muscle itself and 5% body fat. Guess who people think looks better? Of course, the PED guy, the one that's on enhancing drugs. But they're comparing two completely different standards. It's like comparing a family hatchback car to a Formula One car. Both are vehicles, but they're built for different purposes. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is steroids. Now, not everyone with an amazing physique is enhanced, but social media has dramatically increased exposure to enhanced physiques. Now, the issue isn't that these physiques exist because they've been around for a long time. The issue is that many people don't realize what they're looking at. A teenager starts lifting, they see someone online claiming to be natural. Then they expect to look like that after 3-4 years. Then 3-4 years later, they're nowhere close. So what do you think they start to believe? Oh, my genetics suck. I'm doing something wrong. I'll never make progress. When in reality, the expectation was unrealistic from the very beginning. And another sad reality when it comes to online fitness is how the goalpost always keeps moving when it comes to what a physique or what a good physique actually looks like. Here's another interesting fact. Every few years, the standard moves. A physique that dominated Instagram in 2016 would probably be called average today because someone bigger came along, then someone leaner, then someone with better lighting, better editing, then someone using AI images. The goalpost never stops moving, which means if your happiness depends on looking better than everyone else, you'll never arrive at that point. There will always be someone bigger, leaner, stronger, more aesthetic, always. And the sad truth is that when people see a lot of these enhanced, inflated physiques, a lot of people get demotivated. You just lose complete motivation. Now, there is some times on the internet where you will see a nice physique and you're thinking, yeah, you know what, I'm motivated. Sometimes that's the truth. But too much exposure has the opposite effect. If the finish line feels impossible, people stop running. Imagine learning to play football. Every day you're only shown the clips of the elite professionals. No amateurs, no local teams, just the absolute best. Eventually you'll think, I'll never reach that level. Fitness kind of works in the same way. People quit because they believe that they're behind, when actually they're progressing exactly as they should. Fitness content creates an echo chamber. Fitness creators follow other fitness creators. The audience also follows dozens of fitness creators. Soon, your entire feed is muscular people. Your perception becomes distorted. Meanwhile, the average man in the UK doesn't lift weights consistently. The average office worker doesn't have visible abs. The average adult isn't training 5 times a week. But because your online world is filled with fitness, you forget that you've accidentally compared yourself to an elite niche. And you know what the crazy thing is? Even strong people feel small. Have you ever noticed something funny? Someone who benches 140 kilos, deadlifts 250, can do weighted pull-ups with massive weight, looks incredible, and still says, I feel small. This even has a name, bigorexia, body dysmorphia within fitness. No matter how much muscle they build, they never feel good enough. Why? Because physique inflation affects everyone, not just beginners. Even advanced lifters compare themselves upwards. The comparison never ends. So who should you compare yourself to? Here's the comparison that actually matters. Compare yourself to you. Look at photos from 1 year ago. Look at your old lifts. Look at your consistency, your habits. That's real progress. Because the person you're trying to beat is the version of yourself who almost skipped workouts, who couldn't do pull-ups, who struggled with confidence. Not some influencer who you've never met and who doesn't even know that you exist. So what is the real purpose of training? Somewhere along the line, people forgot why they started training. Was it to become the biggest guy on Instagram? Or was it because they wanted to become healthier, stronger, more confident, more disciplined? The gym gives you so much more than muscle. It teaches consistency, patience, discipline, resilience, confidence. Those things don't just suddenly disappear just because someone else has bigger arms. So my advice is use social media for inspiration and education, but don't use it as a measuring stick. The algorithm doesn't show the average person, it shows exceptional. Why? Because it gets clicks, it gets views, it gets attention. Reality is much different though. Most people aren't shredded all year round. Most people don't look incredible under normal lighting. Most people don't wake up looking like their Instagram photos. So don't confuse entertainment with reality. Gym physique inflation is making ordinary progress feel invisible. It's making great physique seem average. It's convincing beginners they're failing. And it's stealing the satisfaction that comes with hard years of training. But don't let the internet decide whether your progress is impressive. Because if you're stronger than last year, healthier than last year, more disciplined than last year, you've already won in my opinion. The gym was never supposed to be some competition with a million different people that you don't know on the internet. It was always meant to be a competition with your previous self, the younger, crappier version of yourself. And if you keep showing up, that version will never stand a chance. So keep up the good work, keep training hard, and I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.